Episode 114. You may have been wondering, well, where have we been? We've been overdoing a hero episode, but we're back for the council scumbags on the hashtag show. Welcome back to the hashtag show. If you've missed us, we've been away because every second week it's obviously a hero episode only on Patreon. And if you are listening to this and you're still a council scumbag, listen, we love you. We just don't love you as much as we love Patreonies. And what we're saying is, if you are still not signed up to be a hashtag hero, you have missed an episode. Plus, you missed the background video that went out over the weekend, and everybody loved it. So get yourself.
What's the 2 hour special that we just thought, hey, have some of that?
The 2 hour special, have some of that, and you missed the Zoom background wee cheeky video as well. So get yourself on the Patreon, patreon.com/the hashtag show, become a hashtag hero, and enjoy every single episode. Malaka Lee, how have you been? Again, you're stressed out. We need to find a way to make sure that you are de-stressed when you come on here. I don't know if we need to employ somebody to quickly toss you off under the desk, or maybe a studio hand. Or maybe, can I suggest, once you get everything working, just don't touch it. Just leave it. Just don't touch it.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for that great introduction. And yes, I shall take some of that on board. Let me just break it down and I'll answer it bit by bit because I believe it was a loaded question with several questions within the one introduction. Let me start by saying, yes, I would more than be happy to welcome masturbation of any form before a show, especially
a wee studio hand
under the desk. Just working away. Secondly, I would love to have everything set up and just leave it that way. That's my plan. But computers are like motors. They're great when they're running, and when they crash, it's a world of pain. You experienced it when your laptop was, I don't know if it's still fucking wavering or you got a secret new one.
It's odd. I'm glad you brought that up. We are now confirmed. We're now in the final death stages of the Mac computer.
Well, Sorry.
Yep. No. I got another update the other day, right? And I did the update, and then I went online to try and look at. I'm not, mate. I'm no one for forums, right? I never have been. I enjoy forming. I enjoy forming my opinions on as little information as I can, right? Like most people. But I went on a Mac forum because I thought, hey, the Mac community is strong out there. And one thing that did come up was if you have a computer that is as old as mine, the last update that I've installed is the final nail in the coffin. So now I think
you can't go any further.
No, as in when they do updates, when Apple get done in the past for deliberately sending stuff out in updates that slows your computer down. So that's one of these ones because it's such an old Mac. I mean, it's not that old. All right, it's 7-year-old, which is old for a Mac. But so now Safari's not working. I've got to have a Google browser, and I'm finding ways around it. I'm just hoping it can see me out until gigs start, and then I can get a laptop. Or the other option is going to be have to try and talk nice to the missus and try and steal her laptop off her.
Lovely.
Because mate,
is she PC or Mac?
Well, she's got a Mac laptop, but she obviously has got a works computer here now in the house because she's working from home.
So she's holding. She's got two.
She's got two, mate. I bet you know yourself. It's what was I going to say? It's you don't realize just how much you need a computer for if you're doing podcast. I was sitting the other day thinking, how could I get around it if I never had the computer? I'm going, right, I could record the podcast on a physical on the recorder with a memory card, but then you're like, how do you upload? I mean, mate, we're dead set on machines, man. Without the machines, we're nothing. Without the machines, we're nothing.
I mean, I believe it's a modern world, Scott. It's a modern world.
It's unbelievable. Absolutely modern world.
I'll tell you what. So what your Mac isn't it? What it is, it's the graphics card that's stopping it from move on because my MacBook, which is I'll sort of quickly show you,
yeah.
And what you'll find is the graphics card is you can't update it. And you'll end up with a MacBook Pro like that, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Its arse ripped out.
Absolutely. It's not the first time I've ripped the arse off something and stuck my fingers all in about it, Pulled things out that I shouldn't have.
It's not the first thing that's came from China that you've ripped the arse out of, The
So-
most upsetting.
You're kind of forced that way, whereas they make your operating systems up to a certain point where like, then there's no updates for the graphics cards because that's obsolete. That's where I was with that until it fucking died. And then I pimped up my studio computer and that was running perfect, brilliant,
Right.
until the fucking hard drive decided to drop, right? Sent it away to a data recovery specialist in Wales who retrieved a third of the data, sent it back up.
That's just a pedo, mate. That's a Welsh
No,
pedo.
mate, he's been cool.
in
He
the
did
van.
Savills and all that. I read it. He's got, he knows.
You've set your
separated the
laptop
midget
to a
porn.
Welsh pedo.
And then he sends it back up and it fucking crashed again. So this is me. This week, I have been reinstalling programs.
That's because
to get it working.
he's laid it heavy with fucking porno, man.
I was dripping with it, man. It came back full of Vaseline ruined the hard drive.
You've sent him the hard drive and he's like, hey, boy, let's take a look at this. And he's plugged in. He's like, not one decent photo in this, man. It's just hundreds of mad sounds like somebody's trying to tune in a wireless. What is this?
Hardcore and midgets. What?
He's uploaded the starter pack and then sent it back north.
But so I got it back. And going back to answer your question, I got it back and I'm starting from ground zero again, reinstalling everything. And when I couldn't get the sound in this morning, I just thought to myself, I've not uploaded or updated the driver for the sound card. But hey, in fact, I just had the mute it button on, you know.
Well,
which again shows how much of a fuckwit I am. After 30 years of music technology, I still can't and get caught out with the mute button. But I'll have a Malteser.
Did you indulge in Pancake Tuesday yesterday? Were you?
Oh, you know what? Never gave it a second thought. Then the daughter
Really?
said to us last night, "Would you like a wee pancake and a cup of tea?" And I went, "You are my favourite for a reason." And she went and made us one: Nutella, coconut, pancake, boom.
Oh no, man! See, I'm old school, mate. I'm just maple syrup. I don't think you can beat that as a
I like that as
combination.
well. I like that as well. But Nutella with coconut flakes is hard to beat.
I don't know if it's obviously because of lockdown and whatnot, but I feel as if Pancake Tuesday just sneaked up on us this year. I didn't see it coming. You know, I didn't.
It
see the
piggybacked
usual-
on the back of Valentine's.
I mean, I just got over all the chocolate hearts, and then next minute, what bang wallop, pancake in the face. Normally, you see all the paraphernalia in the shops. You know,
Well,
the pans and the wee squeezy bottles.
I just fucking brushed the rose petals off my bed, and by golly, I had a pancake in my head.
I just managed to finally free myself from the cock ring, and all of a sudden, I'm getting off of pancakes.
I came down from the top of the cupboards and found myself in fucking Shrove Tuesday.
I remember I woke up, came into the living room, I said to the kids, for the love of God, someone cut this off. It's taking all the circulation. It's done purple. And next minute, I'm presented with 2 pancakes with Nutella. I thought, good God, what's happening? But yes, we had pancakes last night, and it was lovely, bloody lovely.
I came into the kitchen last night and I said, "Don't be alarmed. There's a zip at the back. Just take it off and I'll help you make the pancakes."
Could someone come in?
It's your father here.
Well, I'd love a pancake. If you could just untie me from this bed, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
I seen a wee meme.
A wee meme?
A wee meme.
A wee meme.
And it was for all you single girls out there, don't worry, cupcake. It's Shrove Tuesday and I know it's Pancake Tuesday in a couple of days. You fat cow.
They get memes.
Obviously, a disgruntled man there who's been chucked in Valentine.
I saw a thing the other day. It was like Valentine's Day is usually really difficult for people who are single, but it's even more so this year because of lockdown. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? There's people out there who are quite happy on their own, like more than happy on their own.
They're just used to it, like poking their finger on themselves.
No, but even not a sexual. We just enjoy, like, you can't be asked. You know, they're just quite happy on their own. There's people who are just happy being single. There's always this narrative of, isn't Valentine's Day terrible when you're alone? It's just, I don't know if it's a young thing. I don't know if I'm getting old, mate, but is Valentine's Day a big thing anymore? Do people really?
I'm sure it must. I'm sure it must be. I mean, humans, we're designed to partner up. You know, be it with a man, a woman, or someone who's like.
You always take it to the next level, don't you? You know, as humans, we are biologically programmed.
We are. Indeed.
Partner.
you know, we're programmed to procrastinate.
Yeah. Just using big, wasn't it? Ambidextrous to the detriment.
We're definitely programmed in the DNA to procrastinate, and isosceles triangle and juxtaposition. I don't have any other big words that I could use.
I imagine there's quite a lot of happy single people on Valentine's Day who don't have to spend the money on the shite and just order a pizza and wank themselves silly. That's probably a good way to spend.
Just fucking poke themselves with a fucking box set of vampires or something.
I said, get True Blood on and absolutely rattle the man in the boat. Rattle the man in the boat, man. There's going to be stormy seas ahead, young man.
Fucking pull your lips up to your shooters and just fucking get a good look at your rat while you're poking yourself at vampires. But,
just whacking it with a wooden spoon, man. Just fucking whack every time a vampire comes on the telly.
This guy just fucking pulling their foreskin back like there's nothing more.
Oh, good lord.
But I mean, you know, like, but I don't know, do you do this thing? We do it, and again, I don't know if it's just a kind of, once you've been with somebody for a considerable amount of time, you go, right, see, this Valentine's, honestly, just fucking, let's chill out. Don't even get cards. Let's just not go there, right? So or maybe, right, I'll talk about my situation. So we always say to each other, right, no cards,
is this
no
the
presents. Just go on it, right? It's just another day. I don't need a date to say how much I love you or listen to you love me, right? I
say it every day.
I'm stuck with you till death do us part. I signed the papers in Italy.
Aye,
right?
exactly.
So we always go, right, no cards, no things. But then you always do the wee, you go and you get a wee sneaky card.
See, that's the problem. Is you've got to know if you're going to go down the line of let's not do anything. Let's not bother with all the fucking the nonsense. You've got to be confident that you know your partner. Like I know, for example, me and the missus, I got a card. She got me a card, right? We weren't going to do anything else because aside from the fact that we're skint, I think lockdown has shown a lot of people that certainly me, it's shown like you don't need to buy a lot
to
of crap.
Spend money, have a good time.
I'm now conscious of the stuff I wasted money on in the past. You mean so we just got the card?
No, you're just waiting to get the glory days back.
See, I was walking around the shops.
A mouse that does backflips. I'll have 2 of them.
I was walking around the shops the other day, and I actually said to myself, like, I'm going down, like, you know, in the supermarkets you get. Obviously, you get the food aisles and then you get the kind of mad shit aisles that have got like just hundreds of crap in it, right?
Things about the house you don't need, but you go, that's a great idea.
Right. So, see the other day I went in the Asda down in Leith, right? And the way it is you come in, it's kind of one walkway and then you've got 4 aisles of madness then into the food. So I usually just go straight down into the food because like any Asda is it's zombies, man. It's like the fucking forgotten, right? It's just that everybody who goes into an Asda is like the damned pure apocalypse. There's a guy.
What's your day, eh? That's my shopping trolley, eh?
Mate, they just make sounds. There's a guy who works in the Asda, right? And see, he's got one arm. Well, he's got 2 arms, but one arm is like a full, like metal casting. It's got like brackets at the elbow and bars that go down it to keep his arm like.
That's so he can punch the boxes open when he's packing the shelves.
And then see his other arm's like a fucking twiglet, right? It's pure, it's all scrawny like this, and that's the hand that he uses to put your shopping through when he keeps the pure metal arm last. So he's always like, morning, mate. And I'm like,
I'd rather have the metal arm doing it, know the fucking
rather than the wee twiglet horn. Anyway,
fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex arm.
It's a mad shot. But see the other day, so I ploughed, go in, get my stuff and get up the road. And then the other day I went in, I've not been up and doing this shite for ages, man. I'm going to have a wee look. And I went up and doing the aisles. And in my head, I'm going, amount of crap. No, in my head, mate, I'm going, see, like even a year ago, I'm going, I would have had a trolley full of shite by now already. So I'm changing, mate. I'm getting better.
It's a forced change, but a welcome change.
But sometimes you need that change. But my point being, I know if my missus knew, if Yasmin says, listen, no presents, but they don't need all that nonsense, I trust it. Whereas in the past, and I'm sure there are people listening who it will be, some people's partners will try and test them. They'll be like, don't get it anything, honestly. And then when the day comes, you're like, where the fuck's all my stuff? You said don't get in.
But that's the thing. You know how women say shit like that? Listen, it's cool. Don't worry about it. You know, a wee card, I'll be happy with that. When really what they're saying is, I want you to remortgage the house and impress me.
Aye. But then just be honest. You know, maybe it's all doing an honesty thing. Just go listen. And I'll just say, look, listen, Franco, I'm actually quite a weak person and I live my life and my happiness is by likes and retweets. So unless you're going to give me hundreds of shite for Valentine's Day that I can post online, there's no point in doing it. So please just buy me a load of shite. And then the fucking poor Franco goes out and buy hundreds of shite so they can post it all. Nonsense.
But I tell you what I did do for Valentine's, but I celebrated it the only way I know how.
Shaved your hole?
I made a steak.
Oh, fuck's sake, mate. Honestly, I can't wait till your legs fall off, man.
How can that happen through eating steak?
Mate, all you eat is meat. All you eat is red meat.
It's once every week or every week and a bit. But listen, I wanted to say to you what I got a rub, a seasoning.
Oh, I thought you meant you got a rub for Valentine's Day.
Oh, I wish. Steak and a rub. What do I get now? I get maybe like a steak and I don't know. That's about it, really. I
wish I got, you know what I get? I'm allowed to watch her get dressed in the morning. That's as much as I get.
That's it, fair far.
What the fuck? Whoa. Put that pajama top on slowly.
What I do is I hide on top of the cupboard, right? As sees, right? As soon as you leave your pajamas off, I'm like, oh, yes, man. It's like being young again.
You want to do some role playing? Drill a wee hole in the wardrobe, right? And you get in it, and then you can watch me. And you come in, you just drill like a fucking big, massive peak hole, just sitting with a chair like that. Carry on.
Double glazed it. Wee chair on the other side, sitting on a pipe.
A wee hand sanitizer bit inside it, right?
Almost looks like an ensuite, but it's just a wee perv hole.
Try to sell the house again. And is that an ensuite? No, that's the previous owner's perv hole. Excuse me?
That's my husband's wank cupboard.
It's the wank den. His what? I used to sit in there and have a wank while I get dressed. I beg your pardon? It's all right. It's all innocent.
But you can make it into a cupboard. It's walking.
It's an Italian thing. It's plumbed, man. It's got a toilet in it.
And what? It's just clap your hands and instantly it's like a mirror.
I thought you said it's a toilet. Well, it's more really a water pipe that blows a jet of water up your arsehole. You know? But I mean, you can fit a toilet on it. It's just a pair of stirrups, man. It's just you sitting in a saddle with a hole cut out.
It's no plumbed in, it's just a hole goes right down into the earth.
It's one of these Sani flows. If you turn it on, the kitchen lights go out, but listen, it's worth at the end, you know.
How come it's every room that's got like an ensuite, but you know, it's not actually got a shower or a bathroom in it? It's just like, you know, when we get guests on, that's the husband's kind of just his wank cupboard.
I didn't know there was a nautical theme throughout the house. Every room's got a porthole in it. Oh, that's the mysterious wank cupboard. It's a warren of rooms that connect the house up, Ben. Don't worry. It's Big Brother.
And there's a HQ where my husband usually sits. They're all linked. He's just in there frantically masturbating when we've got guests saying. But you know, you can make that whatever you want, you know. You can knock it through, it's a bit of extra room, you know. Where were we?
Your steak rub.
My steak rub.
Right.
I actually go to a Costco and it's a Schwartz or whatever it is, just a hingy made, but it's just salt, pepper, turmeric, garlic, all these kind of bits.
Turmeric?
What is it called? Do you know what it is? Turmeric, what did I say? Do
you mean cumin?
What's a fucking bit of turmeric in your fucking steak? Like, you know.
Do you mean cumin? Because turmeric's
all
yellow.
Shit.
You know what? Turmeric's that colour.
Right, whatever it is. So it's all like good shit.
That's what good shit, man. That's what they all put in the bing bong curries, mate. The old turmeric.
It's all that gear. And then you just put it into your steak and I rubbed it in. So I made 2 steaks just with the seasoning, and then me and my daughters. Yeah, my daughter. I then I put a lump of butter in, and then I was basting the steak with the butter, and it did lift it up another notch.
Did it?
It was great, man. I know it's a wee bit more unhealthier adding butter in there, but that's the first time I've basted it in butter, and I'm going to explore the avenues now.
It's delicious, man, isn't it? Just when you get a good bit of meat, mate. Makes your day.
And you know what? I actually get carried away. It was that good. I rattled a full bottle of wine to myself, right? But it was like every wee bit of steak I was cutting, it was perfect, right? And the butter gives it a wee crispy glaze as well. And I was taking it and I was just going, no, that bit. Remember the Matrix? The guy's like, I know it's no real steak.
Aye, but I love it.
I know this, but I love it.
Aye.
I felt like I was in the Matrix, man. And I was like,
Are these my wages and wife, or is it just all zeros and ones and I'm sitting in a fucking pod? Drained. I'm not even lying.
My
Right?
battery juice.
See if Morpheus put that front door in, I'd be like, wait till I finish this steak, mate. Oh, I know it's no real Morpheus, just geez 5 minutes. So, see, even we're like best pals and we're pumping each other. That's no gay because it's just the real. Matrix. Listen, it's the Matrix, man. It's just bants. We're in a pod. Look, I'll show you. Open your mouth. It's the Matrix. Definitely. See this stuff that's coming out the end of my bobby. It's not even my bobby. It's not there if you don't want it to be. All the things you don't like, just let it happen because it's the Matrix. But anyway. Oh, is that a glitch? Is that a glitch in the Matrix? No, I just came in your eye. Sorry.
You imagine somebody up the fucking sheriff court.
Your Honor, it's the Matrix. You're going to jail.
You're jailed for 25 years, young man. You're full of shite. You're not even here. This is the Matrix. Come on, nothing can fucking happen here.
I am jail. How did you? What you talking about?
In the post office, you're in the corner.
Excuse me, it's the Matrix head. Don't worry.
Brian McFadden, 25 years of age, from Paisley. Just call me Nemo, Your Honor. No, Neo, call me Neo.
Brian McFadden's under the country boys one.
Fuck those.
Or Westlife. Your Honor, my client would like to be referred to as Nemo from this point on. Okay, Nemo, talk us through the incidents on the 23rd.
Your Honor, I was having a wank in the post office, but we're in the Matrix. I was having a wank in a scud booth. Hundreds of sexy women all around about us, and then I realised the Matrix was a glitch, and I was in my local post office. And there was an old granny freaking out, hit me with a fucking cane. I came out of the flare, fell, and all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. I'm the pervert. It's the fucking Matrix. Your Honor, I'm not going to lie to you, right? I wasn't even close to coming, but see when that woman threw her parcel at me, the tip of the letter caught me right in the ball sack, and I couldn't help it. And the vinegar stroke, and then that was it, game over. I was like, the Matrix.
Yes, but you, Mr. McFadden, you actually shouted the Matrix as you ejaculated onto the post office floor.
I believe it was, you shouted, I am the one. I am the one. Your Honor, can I approach the bench? Biggin. Is that you, Morpheus? Is that you?
No. What's the agent? Who's the agent? The guy?
Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith.
But no way, Mr. Smith. What's your name, Your Honor?
The Right Honourable John Smith.
No way, Mr. Fucking knew it. There's about 20 years in there.
Just starts masturbating in the court.
The Matrix. The only thing I'm not happy about this Matrix scenario is I can't do the Kung Fu. When does that come to me? When does that get downloaded? When the fuck can I fly through the air? No,
say to all the prison guards when they come in,
yeah, when am I getting the Kung Fu download pack?
he's just doing the moves.
I'll fucking take the heat off you. It's the Matrix, mate. Fucking watch out, man. I'm deadly.
What's that Brazilian dance that all the Madonna and all that were doing? And it's like, you know, when people were saying like
it's Kung Fu.
Aye, but they're saying like it's one of the most deadly sports that you can learn. Like,
it just looks like a fucking gay.
What is it called? Dance. What is it called?
Aye,
you know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about.
They do all the
cartwheels all
the
times and everything. Aye.
What is it called?
There's nothing deadly about that at all. It's for fucking gay farmers who couldn't come out. And they were like, "Oh, what is that a lovely dance you're doing?" No, it's for it's for Kung Fu. I kill you with my bare hands in this dance. I'm not the gay. I'm a tough farmer. Dude, Kung Fu.
For the gay,
dancing in a field. What the fuck you doing?
The gay farmers of Brazil. The boys sitting looking at the hut like something's wrong with that way. No, it's a death move.
No, like, Pepe, how do we hide our homosexuality? I tell you, my friend, we make a dance and tell everyone it's a killing martial art. You're a genius, Pepe. Hiya. And then they're doing Morris dancing. That's what it is. It's Mexican Morris dancing, and they're trying to hide their sexuality. What is it? It's something like Kakata or something like that, or
no,
Skuka.
I want to say like it's a begins with a
Coffee
B or
bean
something, or
farmers.
bat. God, what is it called, man?
It's a martial art. This is the shite they tell you. It's a
Is it
martial
no?
art
Is it
designed by coffee bean farmers.
Is it
in fucking
Capolero?
Brazil.
Capolero.
Capolero.
Is that what it's
Even the
called?
name's fucking riotous. They're dressed up. They're not dressed as farmers. They're dressed as fucking Barbara Streisand and fucking Liza Minnelli in Brazil. It's the same kid known.
Lero, I think. Dance. I don't know.
Even a gay man would look at that dance and go, they are wanting it.
Caballero is what it's called.
I don't care what you call it.
Caballero.
That's Morris dancers try to get away with the same hanging on. What's it? It's basically I don't even know what.
Caballero. I don't know what it's called now.
Capolero. Morris dancers get caught because they were just like, hey mate, it's a dangerous martial art. Well, why you dress with a fluey shirt and fucking dungarees on?
You ever seen Morris dancers? And they take it pure. She's like, I'm so proud of my husband. He's actually now in the floor and they're dancing in the maypole. Like,
what
this? The fuck you doing, mate?
Is this the Matrix?
That's it. Well, what we do, we all tie a ribbon to the maypole and dance round it and clap. We'll gather groups of men doing that when the wives are busy making the harvest, and then we'll fuck each other. Bumming.
It's good that we've
furiously bumming.
We've got another character for the sketch show anyway. The wee guy that thinks everyone's in the Matrix.
Everyone's in the Matrix. But the fucking and also the Brazilian farmers who are just fucking closet homosexuals.
Pure. It's like the heavy. It's like you swing the ankle dead fast, going, "Oh my god, imagine that caught you in the face." You'd be like, "Do you know what you do? Fingers up the nostrils, he'd butt dead."
That's it. The day of the fucking shit cartwheels that you done when you're in primary school. No, the one that's like half. You couldn't really do it because you were scared because you fell. So you do the wee half ones.
The ones that children do, it's wee sideways, where they just fling their legs or midgets.
Exactly, and that's what they tell us. It's a deadly martial art. So
the missus gave me a question for the show that I'd need to ask you, and it's very often that she gives any questions for this podcast. In fact, she denies all knowledge or existence of this podcast. Funeral car drove past us the other day.
Yes.
Right?
Did you take half?
On the, do you know what? Here's the thing. See, as I'm getting older, I start kind of like, I think it's because he's military, right? My grandpa used to salute when a fucking funeral procession came past. So just look at this pure mad dog out like that. Welcome! Did you salute? No, but I just, every now and then I'm in the car, see if I'm talking or something like that, or the radio's on, I'll turn the music down. Bit of respect, know what I mean? So, procession goes by, coffin in the back. In the back was a thingy of flowers that was one of the 7 dwarfs. Looks like Doc. So maybe the guy's name was Doc or whatever, right? And I said, it's a midget. In a big coffin. In the coffin, right?
Do they get smaller coffins?
That's the question. The missus asked, do midgets get smaller coffins or do they have normal sized coffins? Is it just a normal sized coffin, but they're in like a box inside it, like a box within a box? Do you mean like there's a bit you put a bit of plywood across the middle so they can put their feet on it?
Aye, and all their favourite toys and clays go on the other side.
You fill it with gold for the afterlife.
It's like one of your long ship fucking things. They just pack it full of helmets in that.
A couple of changes of outfits, like put a wee pair of tiny trainers in it, got that. I packed his favourite shoes in there and a couple of shirts for the journey.
There's that much space. I put everything he owned in that other half of the coffin.
Listen, £600 for a fucking coffin. He's only taking up a third of the space. Is there anything that you need getting rid of that they won't take it at the dump? I'd take it in a landmine. I fill the coffin full of shite.
I'm sure the wife's got a Tupperware box he'd fit in. Drill a few holes and we'll save ourselves that fucking money.
Listen, could you hold off 2 weeks because I don't think my grand's going to last very long. We can stick her in the fucking box with her. She's tiny as hell. I get 3 of the bastards in here.
Is he not getting any friends in the last leg to do a double? I think surely there must be a smaller, like a Wayne's coffin at least. That's that's even a horrible thing to think about. But they must be put in a small. There's no way you're getting buried. Look at a waste of space. Well, there's a thing as well. That's a great question. Is their plot half the size?
No, because you buy well, that's the other thing.
I don't need the full size. Can you do as a deal? Off it.
That's something for us to consider as well, because you can't buy a fucking. It used to be called a lair. So I know my grandpa had a lair, and my grand's family had one where you put, like, I think it's 4 or 5 coffins and tap each other. So she went in beside her mother when she died, and my grandpa went in a new one, and my dad will go in there eventually as well, I think. But where are we going to go? You can't get buried anywhere. There's no space.
I've told you we've got the tomb hangar in Italy.
Oh, have you got the old catacombs? Are you going to get flown over there?
And saying that, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. I want to get. That's bizarre because I was actually wanting to talk. I think somebody put a question in.
I know. So that's how I thought I'd bring this out. So are they buried in normal coffins, or are they buried
definitely
in
a half-sized? I reckon it would be a half-sized coffin, right? Or as horrible as it sounds, a children's coffin. But then that poses the question: do you then get a deal if you're going in the ground because you're only using half amount of space? But I know they wouldn't do that. Just be a standard size.
You don't get.
Well, look at it. If I was digging the holes, I'd go, "How big's the boy?"
Right.
And then I'll go, right, less digging. No, I don't know. I don't know.
You still got to do the depths. I've just found a YouTube video of funerals for little people, casket sizing and embalming procedures. But I don't know one of the comments here, when my friend who was a little person passed away, she had a child-sized casket. That's really horrible, man.
See, even in death they're funny, which is a horrible
It says here they even had the casket lower to the floor in the church so her children and grandchildren could see her.
What, because they were small as well? That's mad. But there's a hanging on.
I know. I see in the coffin. There'll be legs.
I would have a wee set of steps and watch them go up and down the ladder.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. But it's funny. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing. The way the world is now, you need to laugh at stuff. We don't mean any ill health to people. It's just funny.
No.
You'd have a laugh.
I'd do them going up and down. And then maybe like jumping off. Or like a wee plank and then jumping off the end. And then landing.
And then a forward roll. How mad would that be? But
even like the pallbearers, imagine you were a pallbearer.
I know.
Like fucking 4 other midgets, and you're like a normal size guy.
No, you're just carrying it. No, you're just carrying it like that.
I'm just carrying one coffin like a big giant. Like that. There you go.
Can you imagine it going past? Because I think it's a buffet. Just putting a glass on top of it.
Putting £2 on top of it. I think it's a fucking. Is it the collection?
It's getting past at waist height.
Are they dragging it hanging along the flare?
There's fucking 8 wee guys in
fucking
it.
Floating.
Hi ho, it's off to death we go.
Or it's just a big tall pal carrying the coffin in your shoulder, walking down.
And the other one's greeting under his arm. Come on, Sleepy, let's go.
That's fucking heavy, isn't it, man? No, it's a Wayne's fucking coffin size. I could get it myself.
I'm sure I've told you before, my grand, man, there was only 3 of us carrying her coffin. It weighed a fucking ton, mate. Wow. It was so heavy, I nearly farted when I picked her up. I remember the guy says there's only 3, and it was like me and my Uncle John, my brother, and I was like, my granny was what, 4'11", 5 foot when she died. She was fucking the hunter, man. I says, we'll get this knee bother, one in the middle, one in the front, one in the back. And it's like, and turn and lift. And as soon as we lifted, I went, Jesus Christ. Like, solid, mate. And then when we went out the door was dead narrow. So the person in the middle, who was my brother, couldn't fit through the door. So he had to let go. And we had to carry her out. And then I remember putting her in the hearse. And you slide it in. And I turned around and my Uncle John was in bits, man, like pure sobbing like that. And I thought, I was like, it's all right, man, like, don't worry about it. And he'd put the coffin down on his thumb and trapped his thumb underneath the coffin. His thumb was mangled to fuck, man.
Fucking hell, man. And you think he's upset about that?
Also, see during the funeral, there was knocking on the wall. We could hear knocking when the guy was talking, and we all started laughing. It was somebody next door was doing a bit of work in another room, and they had to go and tell him to stop. And the guy was like, I do apologise.
I was like, she's one hit, man. She don't need. Oh, she's serious. Oh, no, man.
I don't know. The first ever kind of funeral that I was aware of, it was my papa's, and I was a pallbearer. And I had a suit, and we'd done it. And then ages went past after it, and I put the suit on for fuck knows court or something. And I remember finning the pallbearer's card in your position in the inside pocket, and I fucking lost my shit. I was just like, aye, and then I couldn't wear that suit ever again.
This is the Matrix. I was like, it's not real. This isn't a Dolce Banana suit, man, and this isn't happening, man.
But that was, good times. But questions, man. Questions here. funeral.
1 minute. Let's just go back to that rub thing for a second. See the steak
Mhm.
rub, right? See, like in Texas and stuff like where barbecue is like big business.
Uh-huh.
So they've got these guys and women as well, I imagine. They're like spice merchants, right? So there'll be, for example, Austin. I know there's one in Austin because I saw it on a show I was watching. Guy's got a big, massive warehouse full of spices, right? And if you are a barbecue chef or you own like a barbecue restaurant, or whatever, you go in there and you buy your spices to make your rub. So they all have like a signature rub. And then what they do is they store them in these big vats so that when they need to come in and effectively buy it, they don't need to buy all the spices. They just buy more of their rub.
Uh-huh.
But all the drums they're all completely blank. They part for a number. And then like the number relates to a recipe and it's all like under lock and key and the guy who
So
owns it.
nobody
Because
knows whose rub it is, and it's all
nobody knows
secret.
whose rub it is. Nobody knows what's in it. And it's so when the guys get interviewed, he's like, look, it's big business, like the guys who are the massive like barbecue restaurants and barbecue chefs, they're making millions of dollars a year selling these rubs, so they don't want anybody to know what's in it. And he's saying, but it's amazing how many of them are so similar and also how many of them are completely different as well. But he's just walking in this warehouse and it's like, when you see the Parmesan cheese places, it's like they put them in banks. It's just walls and walls of Parmesan cheese. It's like that, mate. It's just floor to ceiling of these big, massive vats of different spice rubs for fucking ages and ages and ages.
It's mental, mate. It's pure cool. It's pure cool.
That kind of shit, because I enjoy it. I'm into that kind of shit.
Do you know what
But
I
then
love?
if it was like spices and all that for fucking some fucking other bullshit that I'm not really into, I wouldn't be interested, if you know what I mean.
That's where you find the things you love. I like it when they open the top up, right? And the chef guy puts his nose in it and he goes, okay, and then takes a wee taste it and then can tell the guy what's it. So he's like, celery salt. There's definitely celery salt in there. And he went, and some there's some smoked paprika. And the guy goes, I'm going to stop you there. I go, oh, you know your stuff. I'm going to stop you. And then puts the lid back on as if the cunt's going to go through every single thing that's in it. He's like, I got to stop you. Yes.
I got to stop you. That's Earl. He's been scratching his ass in there,
Is this the
man.
Matrix? Oh, put the lid on. Aye, it's great, man. Anyway, so move on. What's your death thing? Or some funeral thing?
What's
Questions?
my death thing? I know somebody put in a question. It was I think it was Old Faithful, Stephen Harry Wilson. Aye. No, it wasn't.
No, because
It was
Stephen
a
Harry
shite
Wilson
question.
is a strange,
Which also was a good one.
strangest
But
thing you had to wipe your ass with.
Somebody fucking said,
It's on Instagram. It's on the Instagram
Is it?
page.
You got it
What's your? It's from guy Sutherland 7853. What's your funeral song and attire in the box, and why? And would you ever think about a pre-recorded message at your service?
I liked the thing of the pre-recorded message.
Right. Well, let's go first of all. What's your funeral song?
I don't know. That's a hard one, isn't it?
Obviously, you know what it is. It's fucking Based in the Place, London. You know
No,
that's
it's
what it is.
obsession, man. It's obsession.
Bizarrely, I mean,
That's what you'd have just coming for the coffin. We'd get old crazy Uncle Joe.
Is there anybody out there?
They would start, and you just got a fucking rave going, mate.
I've actually been to funerals.
Fucking priest whips
The top off, man. Big fucking leather straps under them. Like, yes.
Check this out. I went to my friend's, who's a DJ, a famous fucking Scottish DJ, Tom Wilson. I went to his funeral, and it's the first ever funeral I went to where they played at the end of one of the tracks that he produced called Technocat. And it was uplifting and emotional, and it kind of blew me away because everybody got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I hadn't seen that. And then obviously through the years of releasing music a lot, and it's got for been very comfortable, they've been very uncomfortable now to I'm touched when somebody said they've used a particular song of mine for a funeral. It used to really freak me out to the point where I didn't want to play the song because I was going, that's because in my head I was going, somebody fucking get buried to that.
Yep.
You know, to know I get quite emotional if somebody tells me whatever it is, weddings, but funerals more than anything else. So I kind of get it.
I think that shows how wrong our connection with death is in this country. It's everybody else, like South America and even parts of Europe, it's all death's a celebration, whereas it's a morbid thing, and it's like, it should be black and it should be gloom and it should be, whereas it should be a celebration. It should be.
I think death should be a celebration unless you're taken too early,
Unless
or
you're a pedo.
unless you're a pedo, that should be a celebration, man.
Unless you're
down.
a fully paid up pedo though, and then you're kind of one song.
You're cool with that, man. As long as you keep your subscription running whilst in the afterlife. But I think I think you can celebrate it if somebody's had a long and healthy life. I've been to funerals of friends who have died at a young age, and there's nothing more fucking heartbreaking than seeing somebody robbed of their future.
Yep.
There's no way you can celebrate that. All right, you can do a nice humanist speech and make everybody feel at ease with it, but ultimately you're still grieving the loss.
Yeah, but you'll still grieve a loss of somebody who dies in their 90s. You've just got to try and take. I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying. And anyone who dies young, or for God forbid, if it's a child that dies or something like that, it's absolutely horrific. But I do think in general, the way that we speak about death and deal with death, I don't think it's right. I think it needs.
I think there's a fear there.
Of course there is, aye.
And it's that's it. I mean, even the older you get, any wee ache or pain, I certainly just go, fuck's sake, I hope that's no, fucking cancer or fucking this, that. Ultimately, just you're waiting on the end.
But then how much of that is based on other countries? One, we have completely lost any connection with religion or faith in this country, completely gone. We're not a religious country anymore. Two, most people in the country are overworked, underpaid. Most people are stressed out of the box. So there's an element of, you get an acre of pain, or you see people dying or passing away, and you're like, fucking hell, I'm not ready to go because you've maybe not achieved the things you want to do, or you're not happy with the life that you've got. Whereas other countries, whether it be mainland Europe, whether it be Latin America, they've got that connection with faith. I'm not saying you need to be religious, but maybe they're more at peace with life, or there's more of an understanding of
the circle of life, mate. I don't know, man. I'm full of fucking coffee, man.
It's a matrix, man. It's a matrix. It's a conundrum, Scott. Certainly.
Right. So
music. I don't know what song I would play.
Aye,
I mean, I'm a prolific artist. I mean, it take me ages. It take me a lifetime to decide all the chart hits that I've produced.
What are you wearing in the box?
I think I would like to just see all that suit carry on and that. What? Don't put me in a suit. I've wore a suit at a handful of occasions. Just put me in jeans and a t-shirt that you know me as.
They need to put you in an ultrasonic t-shirt and ultrasonic
ultrasonic. No, I wouldn't get buried in the ultrasonic.
Of course you would.
I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of guy. My favourite Converse, my comfiest jeans, my main merch, with my web logo down the side of the comment. /shop.
Doing the coffin.
Aye, doing the coffin. Sponsored by, logos all the fucking, like web links.
Everybody gets an ultrasonic beanie. Aye.
Then obviously there's be like at one side of the coffin would be, is there a new album? ?
Right, no.
Mate, always working it.
The message that you're playing at the end is that you're introducing a new Kickstarter. That's what you're doing.
Yep.
From Beyond the Grave.
Yeah,
hardcore will never, in capitals, die.
Hardcore never died, in brackets. I told you. Or something like that. The return. Part two.
The journey begins.
It's still not the afterlife.
Deader than dead.
Aye. But I mean, comfortable. I mean, I don't even know if I want to be put in a coffin and placed somewhere. I think I would rather like to either, go in some kind of fucking eco coffin. I found out you could get buried under a tree and the roots actually use you to grow the tree. I quite like that. And I also quite like the idea of getting burned and then your ashes scattered.
Bummed?
But then bummed. What happens? The dead body. Marilyn Monroe that got it. You die, you get bummed. And then they scatter your ashes because they bum you that much, you burst into.
What they do is it's actually a wonderful technique. What they do is they take the strips off of matchboxes and they make it a little circle, and then they put that inside your arsehole, and then they shag you with a match, and then you ignite and you burn. It's a very eco way to get the ashes.
Aye.
Sign me up.
And I think. And I just, I think
this is like some special kid. I think that I want to get planted as a tree and become a tree.
No, I was
See you
actually,
later.
when you were telling me about the fucking match strips with
That's a
mayonnaise,
genius idea. That's a genius
I
idea.
started going away with, instead of fire and seeming it was like some fucking gel ignite that then setting fire. And then I thought, I can't say that, but we've worked in that road. So I don't think.
What, mate, that's just something the Saudis used to do, man. Prisons a
Aye.
lot. They make you drink half a litre unleaded and then they light your arse on fire. Then if you fart, man, you blow up.
They wait till you fart with an open flame. Any question you?
Drink that diesel. No, don't make me do it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have any. And I like the idea of having something recorded that you would say, but all through my life, I've wrote wee mad fucking wills just through the amount of travelling that I've done. If anything happens to me, make sure this, that, and next thing. And then I've also looked at the things I've wrote and went, why do I want to give him that or this, that, or, so now I just stopped that, all my wee fucking morbid messages.
What am I getting? What am I getting?
Stopped it, mate. Before I met you, I'd stopped that. But I genuinely had wrote, before tours and that. I used to, morbid as fuck, I'd write down, if I don't come back. If I like the dark side too much.
to Big Davy, I bequeath all my fucking vinyl.
Oh, it was mental, man. The shit I used to write. In fact, I've probably still got one that I should actually just fucking read in a show to give everybody a fucking insight into how insane my inner workings are.
Let's move on to something a bit more lighthearted.
Upbeat, yeah.
A bit more lighthearted.
Shy question's always good.
Can I talk to you about the documentary, What We Started, that I watched the other night? Can I talk to you about it?
That's the hip hop one, isn't it? No, it's the music. That's music one with Carol Cox and Martin Garrix.
Aye, no.
Late to the plate, but at least you watched it.
I did. I'm now. I think I'm now officially done with new TV shows for a while, because I feel like the writing is so poor and the acting is shocking. So I'm going to go back to documentaries and enjoy a good documentary. And I stumbled upon it last night or the other night going through Netflix, and Cal Cox's Big Happy He'd came up, and I thought maybe this is a gardening show. And I watched it.
Black Cox.
Love it. And it was great. I thought it was a great documentary. It spoke to me. I thought it was wonderful, and it showed you.
As you've been a DJ now.
As me being a DJ. And do you know what? Here's the thing, mate, right? See if I had a bit of celebrity, like see if I was famous, I could be like the fucking Martin Garrix gang. That's how fucked up DJing is at that level.
If you've got a machine behind you, you can be anything.
So the documentary, if you've not seen it, it's called What We Started. It's brilliant, and it shows you the kind of contrast in dance music. It talks a lot about the origins. I wish it spoke a little bit more about that. And then it brings you up to present day, where you've got these DJs and it focuses around Martin Garrix and Carl Cox. Martin Garrix at that time is 17 years of age, and he's headlining what they say is one of the biggest dance festivals in the world, right? It's some fucking EDM thing in Miami run by a bunch of fucking banjos. And it's got proper DJs talking about how the industry's changed and it's become mainstream. But I think that's the case with everything. I think any art form, if it becomes mainstream, the mainstream take it and they fuck it up. So I suppose the hope is that if you fall in love with dance music and you're really into it, you start to actually think, right, this poppy bullshit is crap. I want to find the real DJs. And the one thing that I would say for you is, see the guys who are starting now, they shouldn't be able to call themselves DJs, because they're effectively, I don't know what the right term is, a producer or a studio hand, or because none of them mix. They've got that guy, is it Deadmau5 or Deadmouse?
Deadmouse.
So he's no in it being interviewed, but they've got a quote for him saying, I turn up, put my USB in and press play. And then the next line is, people don't realize where the magic is. The magic is not mixing live. The magic is in the studio, and I'm there to have a party. I'm like, what the fuck, man? But yet he still gets booked and still a DJ. He's openly admitting, turns up and presses play.
Aye, but he's known for just saying things like that to evoke some kind of reaction or outrage. He lives on all that shit. He's almost like a troll, but he's very successful in the studio and he can get away with it. So he comes out with troll shit. There's an art of DJing and there's an art of producing. And a good producer doesn't make a good DJ, and a good DJ doesn't make a good producer, but they both lend to each other.
The bits in it that I took from it is when you hear Carol Cox talking about his residency, is it Space in Ibiza? Right, so he's been there for 15 years, and then it was his final gig, and you can see him like he's playing the last song, and you can see him like going to tear up, and he's fighting it back. And I'm going, right, this obviously means so much. This man, a big part of his life was spent in this club, and I'm like, I would much rather. And I know a lot of DJs, and yourself included, will be angry at the way that some of the industry's gone, just like I am fucking raging at the way comedy's gone, especially in the UK. But I would much rather live through the time period that you lived through rather than being part of this now. Because there's a bit in it where they're talking about, is it Love Festival in Berlin? Mate, that looks insane, man. When they drive trucks through the street, there's like 1 million people lined up in the street. It looks mental.
I'm trying to think what the name of that was called. I went to it. I was actually booked to play it, and I never go to the gig because I went and done with other German promoters. But what was it called? Love Parade or something like that. 1 million. That was the biggest and one of the first huge one. 1 million people and moving trucks.
And there's a bit where obviously they're all meeting up in the fields and whatnot for the illegal raves, and the police shutting them down and everything. I'm going, you would much rather live through that era of the scene and music rather than the new. It's like Martin Garrix at 17 press and play. And so the bit that I love was him talking to Carl Cox, right? And Carl Cox is obviously, I don't know him, never met him. He seems like a nice guy, right? And Martin Garrix comes in, and Carl Cox is like, you just get a sense of going, Carl Cox like, I don't even want to talk to you because you are fucking the reason why this industry's fucked. But I'm a nice guy, so I'm going to speak to you. And Carl Cox is talking about how the longest set that he did was 10 hours. And the wee Martin Garrix like, oh, I could never play 10 hours. And I'm going, it's because you're not a DJ, you wee dick.
He's no came for that.
Like he doesn't even have the knowledge that you could go up and play a set of that length. Like, he probably doesn't even know enough fucking music to go and do that.
But that's kind of like he's produced a big tune, but he also had access and was signed for a big management company, and the big machine got behind him and made him the success story that he is by doing all the right decisions and pressing the right buttons. Carol Cox came through being a wedding DJ to playing raves to being a fucking global phenomenon, and he's still passionate about music.
Aye,
man. Even back then, when the raves were raves, when nobody had camera phones. I mean, and this isn't even a joke. See, if somebody had a camera at a rave back in the day, you thought they were DS, and there was something heavy duty about it. Like, what you fucking doing, mate?
Aye.
You know, this isn't here to be snapped. Or if there was video cameras in it kind of loosened up as it went on. But it was definitely the wrong thing today. But then it gave you that freedom of uninhibited, no being watched, being in your own space where people who didn't give a fuck.
Do you know the thing two things, right, that I when I was watching it, one I didn't even consider, and the other one that I quite enjoyed. There's obviously a guy there, and it must be towards the end, right? The end of like the illegal rave scene. And he's interviewing these two people, and they're just dancing right now. They're out their fucking box, man. The guy is.
This is his footage for the 90s.
This is the footage for the 90s, right?
It's beautiful, man.
The guy is beautiful. The guy's knowing this planet, right?
It's a woman and the big black guy.
Aye,
and they're just fucking dancing forever. Right?
And you can see the guy going like, and then the last question says, "Will you ever stop dancing?" And I'm just like, what a cunty thing! These people are so involved in this that they're not embarrassed by you being sober and being a news guy. They're just in the moment loving it. The guy who's asking the questions is the cunt. He's the idiot. Her
answer was amazing. She says, I'm going to keep dancing forever. Aye. In that moment, you know, she really believes. And maybe technically, if you want to be, it's no the dance, it's no the physical action of the dance, it's that freedom of expression that she will have for the rest of her life because she was involved in that life-changing experience.
Well, that's the thing when you think about a lot of movements in music or even in art, because it's an artistic movement. The time when you come through the 80s in the UK where everybody was fucking striking, people are skint losing their jobs, poverty, and then a new type of music comes through that allows young people to completely escape. And not only is it their own, the elders completely despise it or don't understand it. You know, the system's against them. Police try to shut them down. People passing laws to make it illegal. Everyone connected with the drug scene. If you were involved in it at the time, it must have felt like,
it's us against the world, man. We're
I
fucking
totally-
gonna come.
It totally was something new. Even mad things like being at a rave, right? And Fitba hooligans would come in and they would come in and try and steal, and did, people's trainers, right? You see it all the time. This is mad, right? This is what happens. So you be at a rave and then there'd be obviously you could tell the casuals by what they were wearing and all that, because ravers were just sweating, jeans, t-shirts, lost looking, but getting into the music. So it'd be an organised group of boys coming in. They'd crowd round one or two fucking poor ravers who they would just fucking take their trainers off them or their money or their gear, right? But then as the rave movement kept going, those very people maybe took an ecstasy or maybe took a chance on the night, and then they themselves became ravers. And the guys who were like doing the robbing were the guys next to you fucking doing the raving.
That's
it was like a mad fucking thing to see.
They speak about that in the documentary. The guy saying his exact line was, it was mind blowing for him, because he says he was watching guys who a year earlier were fighting on terraces and now are in a field dancing at 6 a.m. So the one thing I never even considered, right, is there's a bit in it where they phone a number and there's like a pre-recorded message or something saying,
telling you the address.
Telling you the address, right? So the guy's talking about how, and I never even thought of this, they've got to drag all the kit through a field. So he's talking about walking across a field in pitch black, carrying all his vinyl. And he's going, I wish I had a USB back then. I never even thought of that. Like, somebody's got to go and set all this shit up.
Set that up, I know. And fucking Jamie, if it was in a place where never done electrics, they would try to Jamie electrics. You know, I've been to gigs where the electrics was run off fucking the street lights to get power in and stuff like that. Just insanity. Amazing. But just fucking, it's happening. You're making, or you're part of something that's just, it's a happening. You know, it's no meant to be there, but it is there because all the right things happened.
One guy who, when I was watching him, I'm going, I think you're a dick, and I could be completely wrong. Is Paul Oakenfold? Is he all right?
But that's the thing, right? He is. He's one of he's the blueprint for the fucking superstar DJ that everybody for Tiesto copied.
That's the thing, because
he went to LA and he's pure LA now, but he is so fucking important. Whether you like his DJing or his music and what he's done, he booted the fucking doors down and started.
That's the thing. So in the documentary, they're saying that he supported U2. So he supported U2 on tour, and then after the tour, he moved to LA, and it's Pete Tong that's talking about it, and he says that Paul Oakenfold says to him, "I'm going to spend a year, and I'm going to tour America. I'm going to do like all the small clubs in America." And he's like, "What are you doing, man? Like, you've just gone from doing 100,000 crowds to now doing rock clubs in Chicago where you're playing to like 500-600 people." But he says he was the first one that started touring like a band, like a DJ would go on the road and really hit it hard. And listen, I'm sure, you know, maybe he's not the way he comes across in the camera, but he's just sitting, he's like, I feel like I'm going, you're a dick, man, sit up straight, talk properly.
I think he is genuinely a fucking legend. You know, he was one of there's a handful of people that was quoted as the first people that went out to Ibiza and took that fucking freedom of mixing all sorts of music, and then came back and started up I think his night was Spectrum, and you know, another guy, Danny Ramblin, started Shoom, and then with that Ibiza spirit, Acid House kind of blew up. But again, they were also taking the music for America. The bizarre thing that doesn't sit right with me about the full dance music explosion is, like every almost genre of music, the white man stole the black man's music and commercialized it, and then we sold it back to them via Paul Oakenfold and EDM and blah blah blah, as if we invented it. When you know, blues, jazz, rock and roll, it was developed by black artists, and they don't get enough appreciation or respect for that. You know, it's kind of like,
I wish I could remember.
Dance music's almost like a white man's music, but it's fucking black, man. It's soul.
So, mate.
Right on, bro.
It's
Mate,
the Matrix, man.
it's the
Matrix.
I wish I could remember the guy's name because there's a black DJ at the start who's in Chicago and they talk about him. And mate, see when you see the footage of him, man, he's like fucking, he's like this, he's rapping, he's dropping vinyl, somebody's handing him vinyl and he's fucking,
Jeff
and he
Mills,
spins round.
maybe.
Oh, that's it.
Aye.
That's who it is.
Any Jeff Mills, mate? I had the last one and here I go, mucker.
Mate, see the footage of him? That's insane, man.
Aye. He's a
1
freaky
minute,
guy, man.
He's standing right, and there's like he's just fine, and then all of a sudden he like spins round and drops in the one movement, and then he's like fucking vinyl going through this box,
Yeah.
putting things in sleeves. And there's a guy doing the narration talking, saying that he used to stand at DJ box and write down every fucking record that he was bringing in and out, so that they could have the music that he was playing.
Aye, just he was like fucking a fire. I done some gigs with the guys in Europe, all the early Chicago guys and like Jeff Mills and I remember sitting in a bus being a fan of their music, and then going, fucking hell, the music I'm doing compared to what the music that they done, I felt so insignificant, so pantomime, so fucking commercials, useless. And then when you talk to them, you're just I don't know. Like I felt like they've fucking seen it all before. Somebody else who stole their vibe and milked it and commercialized it. But they were polite, but I've never felt so insignificant in my entire life as an artist when talking to you guys.
That's just one, that's your respect for the music and for them, and two, your Scottish guilt. That's what that is, mate.
That's it.
And the 3 hours hungry like a deckies, I tell you what name him. Got him in Germany. This is the Matrix, boys. I was like, here, Jeff, do you know your name Jeff Mills rhymes with Pulse? And I've got a belly full of them. You know, Jeff, you know what your name backwards is, mate? Slim Sedge. Fedge.
Hey, man, my name's Jeff.
No, it's no, because in the Matrix, I call you Fedge. Mate, do you know what? See the Matrix, you're white, by the way. Then Bosch.
Fedge Slim.
Oh,
Fedge
Jeff.
Slim. Fedge
Yes.
Slim.
I thought it was a great documentary. I put it on thinking it'll be crap, and then that way it was so good I even sat up in the sofa to watch it.
Beautiful.
But at the end of it, I did hope when Martin Garrix is driving away in that golf buggy, I did hope the golf buggy was going to explode. But
Explode, I know. But here's a thing for you. Again, if you read books, whatever, the best book to read about dance music culture is Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. And it's written by a guy called Bill Brewster or something, who's a Mixmag contributor. But this book is fucking unbelievable. Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. And if you read books, even if you don't read books, the references and the story of the evolution of dance music is fucking unbelievable. And it's, I read it and it's so humbling to read it, to see, you know, like whatever I've done, how insignificant it is compared to the fucking folk who really forged the path. And it goes way beyond disco, way beyond. No, it's amazing, man. Amazing.
What you've done is not insignificant at all. That's your Scottish guilt coming in. You mate, even the fact that, see, even if you had everything you've achieved with Ultrasonic, right, and everything you've achieved as a DJ producer yourself, if you had done that coming from a wealthy family in Edinburgh or even Glasgow, it still would have been an incredible achievement. The fact that you have done that coming from where you came from, with the upbringing that you had and your roots, it's unbelievable, man. There's literally people in the four corners of the world will know Ultrasonic or the music. It's amazing. I say that like, I don't know what it is. Even the missus, right, on a far smaller scale, she's doing her own artwork, constantly putting herself down. Her art's amazing, and she sells it all over the world. I say to the other day, it's like, you need to start doing a map, and you need to start looking at where your stuff goes. So she's been doing it, going back over other orders. There's literally almost nearly every country in the world stuff is
somebody's got a piece of art, right? It's a great achievement.
And it's maybe because you're in it, you don't realise it. But mate, what you have achieved with music in your career,
mate, it's fucking astounding, man. It's fucking astounding. Listen, keep talking about me because I think it's great. But it's just going to be a shame that you'll be dead before you're 50 because of the fucking red meat you're chomping. Yeah, I'll leave a couple of bangers.
I mean that kind of topic I could talk about to my fucking till I've passed out. But I
loved it. Watch it. I read that book.
Read Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. It's fucking incredible.
and watch what we started. Right, you want some quick questions, and then when you
let's get back to the fucking nonsense, man. That's it, man.
Right, Viv Cameron, Heroine. Viv has asked, okay, you're in your car. We all have that guilty pleasure song that you wouldn't dare play when anyone else is there because it's either silly or cringe. For example, my guilty pleasure song in the car is Male Stripper. The beat is sick when it's loud. What's yours? Male...
I was a male stripper in a go-go bar. I was a male stripper in a go-go bar. I know that tune, Viv.
Viv saying, can't believe
I
just told everyone.
That's when you help do that.
Please,
I'll be a stripper, man.
What is the song?
A male stripper.
Wow, never heard of that.
As soon as if you YouTube it and play 3 seconds of it, you'll have known it. You probably go, all right, that.
I don't have any guilty pleasures because I think all music is wonderful, and I play some amount of shite and listen to some amount of shite, but I don't care. I'm not fazed by it.
That's what I kind of like about you. You can listen to utter fucking nonsense and go, that's fucking great, man.
Yeah, but that's the best thing.
A filter kicks in me and I go, oh my God.
But that's because you're a fucking music snob, mate.
Whereas
I'm just like, I love everything.
I just go, I don't really have a guilty pleasure per se, because I just see music as it's either good or bad, as in I like it or I don't. And that's how it should be viewed. You know, you either like something or you don't. So I don't have guilty pleasures. I just get music that I listen to and stuff that there's tracks that people listen to that I go, that's fucking horrible. But then I instantly go, but that's what they're into. That's what they like. So I respect that.
And I used to get ripped sometimes because I would openly admit that I listened to GBX and I liked some of the tracks. And I don't know if it's because I was hanging around with pure snobby arseholes at the time going, I can't believe you actually listen to that stuff. I'm like, it's great, man. It's fucking brilliant.
You must be dried up living in Edinburgh now. You're not getting a fix. Or is it up there now?
No.
You get a GBX up in Edinburgh,
but mate, I've got no gigs to drive to, so I can't listen to that boom boom shite.
Oh, that pumping you up, no, that you just get in fucking hooked the first person you see.
Soap in a rope, man. Boop, boop, soap in a rope.
Big shout out to Jodie boy. He's been like fucking hammering some of my stuff.
Star across the midnight sky.
Come on.
I see. Again, coming up being a raver, I don't have musical snobbery because I've seen what musical snobbery can do to a scene, destroy it, blah blah blah. And if whatever you're into, it's somebody regards it as shite, you know, like people with this happy hardcore or the donk or whatever, it's entry level music for somebody. And then once they get in and established and what they like and what they don't like, they'll start digging and seeing new music and finding out other things.
That's when people snobbery, they go, oh, you like that stuff, man? That's so like mainstream. You're like, mate, you can't just take a bobby right up the arse. You've got to start somewhere. Know what I mean?
Exactly. A wee finger.
Know what I mean? Happy hardcore, mate. That's the poppers to proper gay sex. Just let me enjoy it, mate. Fuck's sake.
Well, you're in the Matrix or at a rave. It's the same thing, man.
So, Viv, we're glad that you finally told the world that you enjoy Male Stripper. But obviously for us, you know, all music is wonderful.
Well, who does she imagines doing the stripping? That's what I'd like to know.
I don't think.
Is it Big Gibbo?
I don't.
Or is it he's all kinked up?
I mean, let's be honest. If you and I were strippers, it would be a very different show.
You know what? It would be erotic and funny.
Well, I think definitely. I think
you think it's erotic? No, did you think it was funny?
No, I think you'd be coming out getting it fucking waterfalls and getting it loudy.
No, you would be that. You'd be the guy. You'd be the showman. I'd be the insignificant, scared guy.
No,
you'd just
embrace it, Mal. Show them your cock.
I know exactly what I'd be wearing. Do you remember that time years ago I sent you and Gary the message when I was in Birmingham, and they've got the sex shop next to the club, and it was that kind of outfit. It was like the pair of Y fronts with the fucking braces. That's what I'd be wearing, mate. Fucking luminous yellow Y fronts, red and white braces, like 10 in a row.
I'd be dressed as like I don't know, a sexy doctor or something. A sexy doctor.
Would you come out with a white coat and the stethoscope, then whip it right off?
Aye, and it'd just be like a wee mask covering my fucking small cock.
I'm here.
I'd slap it about. I'd sit at the top of a kettle so the steam relaxed it, and then I'd let it free. I'd show everybody what I've got. My big wrinkled snozzle fucking foreskin, everything, man. Get it all. Then I'd let him drink for that purple cup. Then if we're on like that, get it in your mouth, Maureen.
Maureen, I'm here to take your temperature. The doctor will see you now.
Yeah,
You'd be the doctor, I'd be the lumberjack. I'd come out with a fucking chainsaw and the plaid shirt. Does somebody need some wood chopping?
Yes. Yeah.
In fact, I could just
do me.
mate, I could wear this hat. Who wants some wood?
and this is a thing I know. See, like doing that, Joe, right? You'd be like fucking getting
on the front row, birds, guys, everything, man, drinking for the purple cup, right? You got my own blood. I'm not cheating on you, hen. It's just my work.
You know, what a shift. What a shift, man.
I'm right, hen. What a fucking shift.
You're not going to believe this, man. Old Maureen, she got that carried away. Fucking took a chunk at the end of my old fella, man. Unbelievable.
Start off with a whipped cream. I thought, you know, 3 of them were punching it like a fucking punch bag, man.
It was about the right, big, but I tell you, man, I don't want you ever going back in that spar ever again, right? That fucking Maureen, honestly, God, man, she's playing like a bagpipe, 2 horns on it. And she's, Maureen, come on in.
Thank God the boxer shorts coming back of 4 because I could fare through a set and I'm fucking in my show, man.
good times, man. That's I mean, there you go. Next hashtag show.
Right,
I could never do a strip hang, man. Never. Couldn't do it.
Stephen Kelly has asked, off the back of the Siamese twin talk, would you not be, would you not be better attached to another guy than a woman? If attached to a woman, you're going to be making eye contact with the guy pumping her. But if you have a guy attached, you will be watching some lassie getting rattled and you could slip a wee finger up her bum. What is wrong with this show? He finishes with saying, yes, lockdown is getting to me. Stephen, I think lockdown is getting to you. Listen,
I love
man,
it how
we need to go over this idea of being attached to a woman because another guy than him. We're all free, man. We're all sexual beings, man, woman, animal, beast. This is the Matrix, man. Don't worry about it, Stephen. You're in the Matrix, mate. Nothing makes sense. Nothing's real anymore.
I think I hope that it's Stephen Kelly, Ziggy that I know, and I love the way that he's actually really thought about that question to the point of maybe sticking a wee finger. And it's not like she's going to be offended
because technically it's like 2 is a one guy, but so also it's not like she's cheating.
Don't be putting any fingers up anybody's bum unless you ask first, Stephen. All right, that's the golden rule.
Maureen, you coming in and watch that DVD tonight, Ways?
Listen, I will, but see whose brother sticks a finger up my ass again. I'm not having it.
But listen, technically his arms matter.
Well,
so technically.
No, I'm not having it. Tell me he's got to put a pair of mitts on. I'm not having this.
You know, tie him down, put a blindfold on him, right? All right, Maureen, if that's what you want. No, that's what I need.
I don't. What was his question? Was it just...
his question is, if you're a Siamese twin, would you know that be attached to another guy? But then you could be attached to your Siamese twin could be a man, and then he could enjoy the company of other men. So you know, it doesn't matter. Like I said, Stephen, we're all one being, we're all one sexual being, mate. Just enjoy life.
Actually, my inbox has been bombarded with pictures of midgets and pictures of fucking Siamese twins and stuff like that.
But you love that.
Whatever we chat about. Well, I laughed and I go, hold on a minute, these folk actually think I'm into this shit. Then somebody sent me a picture of, it was 2 Siamese twins stuck together. The classic, I think it was a shooter attachment.
Right.
And one of them was winching.
The classic connection.
One of them was winching a guy, and it was like, no, only your Siamese twin, but your brother is gay. And it was one guy watching the TV while the other one's like winching a guy. And I was going, that is a conundrum.
You know, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but my missus told me something the other day, man, and it honest. See, sometimes, mate, she tells me things, and a bit of my soul dies, man. It like freaks me the fuck. She's into all this murder stuff, right? Everything murder, everything. Real crime. She's obsessed with it, and she reads stuff before she goes to her bed, and then she tells me the next day she went, "Oh, I read this thing," and I'm going, "Oh," and it makes my blood run cold. This boy in America, somebody breaks in the house, kills the family, right, with an axe.
Nice cheery read.
Takes the boy's jaw off, right? So his jaw's clean off. Hits him in the head with an axe. The axe goes through the skull into his brain, and what it does is it severs parts of the brain, not only that feels pain, but also is basically orientation. So he doesn't know what's happening in the moment. Right?
So he's no dead.
He's no dead yet. So he is now not aware of what's going on.
Look, he's got a fucking axe need.
But the part of the brain that's been severed or that's been affected kicks in the part which deals with routine. So there's things that you do in your life naturally because eventually routine builds up. So the boy gets out his bed. Now he's missing a jaw. His jaw's clean off. He's been hitting the head. He goes into the garden, goes to pick up a newspaper because he thinks he's picking up the morning paper, comes back in the house and makes himself a cup of coffee. He's then
Fuck off.
Mate, I swear to God, he's then found dead in the kitchen. And this is how they place the guy when they do the autopsy. Can you imagine being that neighbour and seeing him come out with no jaw? Or I'm thinking, what a horrific way to die as well. And honestly, it fucking makes my blood run cold thinking about it. She's like, that's amazing. And I'm going, what are you reading, man? No wonder you can't sleep.
Oh, that's mad, isn't it? I mean, so it depends on what your muscle memory is and certain jobs you get done. That'd be freaking all. You know, what if it wasn't as straightforward as just getting like a fucking paper and having a cup of tea? What if it was a wee bit of...
I knew you had to go and take it. I'm just telling you, some guys died at horrendous death. You're like, what if he was having a fucking wank and this is the Matrix?
What if he's in his wee fucking wank cupboard? Goes to the wank cupboard with a baby lotion.
And his jaw missing? Right, let's do another question and then we wrap this up. So, final question today is from Stephen Harry Wilson. Stephen Harry Wilson is asked, strangest thing you've had to wipe your ass with in an emergency? Poly bag, sock, slice of bread. Well, luckily, over to you. I love the highbrow questions we get on this podcast.
Oh, I mean, we are not snobby at all. We will answer anything.
Well, I'll say that now. I've wiped my ass with a sock once when I farted.
That's an easy one. That's an easy one. That's a given.
Farted and followed through. I've had to use once. I had to use a towel when I had no toilet paper and no baby wipes.
Did you use a towel again after you washed it? And did you always notice that shitty towel?
Do you know what? See, but here's, and I'll tell you the truth, right? Because listen, this is the Matrix and nothing's real. See, if it wasn't for the fact I was living with somebody, I would have kept the towel and washed it. But I didn't want that to come up.
Respect.
I didn't want that to come up in like a future argument where I would go, see that towel? I fucking shat on that towel and you've been wiping your face with it. So I put it straight in the bin. But if I'd been living alone, me and the tour manager, I would have washed that shitty towel and I would have been. And here's the thing, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with
you washed it, it's clean.
Exactly.
If you've had a kid, you've had all sorts of shite and you've washed it out.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So I used a towel once. I used a sock when I was younger. And here's the other thing.
Hold on, we're talking about no wanking, it's doing a shite here.
No, it's doing a shite, aye. I only used one sock and it felt weird walking home with one sock on. So I just took the other sock off and threw it away.
No, you should have kept that for another emergency.
Emergency wank sock. So I'm trying to hang. I've never go back to Steve. I've never wiped my ass with a poly bag, and I've never wiped my ass with a slice of bread. So I don't know if you have, but listen, see things like this. I think sometimes we get too caught up in it, going, I can't believe you done that. Listen, we're all human, man. We all do shites. We all
get needs.
Up. Mate, it's the Matrix, man. Nothing's real. Don't worry about it.
The weirdest thing, and it's not a weird thing. I mean, it's just gone back to nature. When we were young, growing up in the fucking Shire, playing up the woods or whatever, there was always that thing where it was only a shite that could break the fun. As in, if you had to go and leave everybody to go and do a shite, so you had to shite outside, so you could do it and still continue with the patter.
No.
So
no way.
Quite often you would just go, you're in the woods or up the country, or whatever. So you do a shite and you'd wipe your ass with a thing called a docken leaf. Now I don't even know if that's the real name yet, because a dock leaf, because you could also, if you get stung with nettles, you'd rub it with that big leaf and it helped, right? So the big green leaf, wipe your ass with that, right? But what's always funny is you're so glad that you know the person doing a shite, because you know that person's got to do a shite and wipe it with a docken leaf. So then what you would do is you would go and catch them doing a shite, mid-shite, and kick them out, or do some kind of mad shit to make their shite even more harder.
Shite on him.
Look at him shite and you get nicknames shitey or whatever. But so a docken leaf would be the go-to. But I think I've used things like magazines in the house, even when I was like single and been like fucking.
How can you get a good wipe with a magazine?
You can't. It's very sore.
Shiny, so it would just slip off.
Because you're just going, it's the only thing I can use. I'm not using a good towel. So you'd pick up like fucking, I'd have like magazines in the bathroom and that anyway. I'd like to say synthesizer magazines, but it was Scud mags or maybe like trashy Heat magazine. Maybe.
That's how I think we need things like,
loaded.
I wish we grew up with like B-days or like bum guns when you just fucking blast your ass. I told you about the one that I had in fucking Dubai and Abu Dhabi, didn't I? When I turned it on, man, it fucking fired between my legs.
Aye, all sorts of madness. Just a different
And then I was
controls.
pure scared, man. And then like I had to just have it on like a wee trickle, and then turn it up to pure woo.
Can I blow your mind?
Gladly.
I remember we spoke about this. I only found out about the way you sit to with a bidet is you're facing the wall. You don't actually sit with your ass facing the taps. Did you know that? So traditionally, I would always thought you sat in a bidet the way you sit in a toilet. You don't.
Mate,
You
I used to
You sit facing the wall. What a bad naughty boy.
Mate, see, the first time I used a bidet was in America, right? And I thought you filled it like a bird bath and then dunked your ass in it like a tea bag.
which I get. I totally get. I think I fucking went through that.
So I filled it up with water.
Running a wee bath
right?
for your ass cheeks.
Right? And then like straddled it and then dunked my ass in like a tea bag, thinking
I bet you're going, this
the
is
water
great.
would wash it all away. So I did that, and then see when I put my trousers on, I was like, you know when you get an itchy arsehole because it's not clean? I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then one wipe, I was like, I look at the bidet going, you lying bastard, man, it's a fucking riot up there. But that's how I thought it worked. You filled it like a bird bath, and then you dunked your ass in it like a tea
I
bag.
first thought it was for washing your feet. The first time I ever seen it.
Everybody
I
thought
genuinely
that.
did. I thought, fucking hell, they French are right sophisticated.
Maybe I'm thinking, like, am I meant to wash my clothes in there? What the fuck is that? Aye, washing your feet. I thought it was a washing feet as well. But that's what I done the first time. Filled up like a bird bath and then dumped my ass in it.
But I'll be honest with you, I've been using paper that long. A bidet, it's just too much hard work. You know, when you can get the same results with like a wet wipe or something like that, if you wanted to go down that road.
But then surely you need to dry your ass after it anyway.
Aye, well, that's it. This is the thing I don't like, I know. You've always got the towel then at the bidet that you know that dries asses. And that's all right when it's like you or your missus. But could you imagine going into somebody's house? Can I use your toilet, Franco? No problem. And then you go, right, hold on, is she in using my bidet and all? And my arse rag. So is Franco wiped his arse on my bidet towel? I don't think a bidet hangs for guests. Definitely no.
No, not unless they get their own toilet. Can you also imagine?
How would a guest come with your house with their own toilet?
No, like maybe you get two toilets in your house, like one's for you, one's for guests. You know what I mean?
Your guest came with your fucking Portaloo.
Imagine turning out that. It's my bidet, aye. Imagine walking into the bathroom and somebody's sitting in the bidet they're angry around or facing the wall. You'd be like, you'd think they're fucking.
It's the Matrix. Yeah. Sorry, it's not a punishment.
But no, that's the thing. You sit, you straddle it facing the taps, so you've got the turning on the taps. Or am I wrong?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
There must be a way.
Like I say, I just filled it with water and dunked my arse in it. And then the one that I used in Abu Dhabi had a hose and you fucking like blasted right in your cheeks.
Do you know what? In Abu Dhabi, especially, and in other parts of Asia, Abu Dhabi is like fucking, you know, the statistics that they use bidets is through the roof. Because Asia don't like bidets, but see in Abu Dhabi do.
Oh my God. I can't believe you. I just look at you. I should have known, man. Look, you could barely get that out without laughing at your own joke.
I can see it in the distance. I was trying to get
I know, because the thing is, in Asia, I'm like, what's he talking about Asia? In Asia they don't, but Abu Dhabi do. He's such a fucking child, man.
Listen, and you thought it was just Scott was a funny man.
But I'll tell you what, Abu Dhabi do. There's a comedian called Gavin Webster, a Geordie guy who's fucking amazing, man. And he does things. There's a bit in his show where he's talking about people ask him if he's a fan of art. You're a fan of art? You're a fan of art, Gavin? He says, I enjoy the pictures of the dog playing snooker. He says, and then the next one is, are you a fan of the pastiche? Are you a fan of pastiche? He went, oh, well, I enjoy our sausage roll. But he does a bit about gigging over there in the Emirates, and he says, so the first night we were in Manama, and then the next night was the second night was in and then back to Manama for 3 nights, Manama, and then he goes, I'm going to finish it, and the final night was in For the first night we did in Manama, and then we went down to and then back up to Manama, and I'm going to finish it.
You know what?
Right,
It'll not be
man.
long before fucking some cunt tries to cancel their jokes because they're a bit fucking, oh, you can't do that. I was
Oh,
watching, listen, I know we're running out of time here, but I was watching some mad thing and they were saying the Flintstones was out of order because it was about animal exploitation. You know how like he's underneath the sink, it's a dinosaur eating the garbage. And I was going, really? Is that where we're fucking going with that?
I mean,
Animal exploitation in the Flintstones. It's a fucking cartoon. And I
Paul's
watched
going,
Falling
mate,
Down last night
It's
with Michael
the
Douglas.
Matrix.
Falling Down's brilliant.
Oh, amazing. I watched that again. I've been doing kind of what you've been doing. I've been going back to classics because I just know that's worth the watch.
You know it's going to
And
get a good film. How often now do you find yourself watching an old film going, God, there's no way they'd get away with that now? That's shocking.
that
just a
Falling
movie, man.
Down is really cleverly done because you go, I get it, man, he's snapped. Then you go, wait a minute, this guy's fucking got a mental illness. Then you go, what did he date his wife in the past?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a bad guy? And then you kind of actually, well, I kind of felt, I don't like this guy. And then at the end, when he just goes to the cop, I'm the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he pretends he's got the gun, so the cop will shoot him because he then realizes I've done too much wrong.
He's like, no, this
It's
isn't the
fucking
Matrix. This is real. Oh shit. No.
But what made me laugh, and I thought they shouldn't have done it because that wasted it for me. I don't know if you remember. So at the end of it, he pulls out the water pistol. The cop shoots him. Before he falls out, he fires a water pistol and he's got a water. I was thinking, there's fucking no need for that. We get it.
I think he would have been a bit. See, if he hadn't done all the Mad Shaggy movies, he probably would have been he's a great actor. He just went
Not
after
only is
those,
a great
didn't he?
actor, he's a great producer, and the scripts that he has took from books to films is fucking frightening.
Aye.
That's where my respect for him comes. Not so much as an actor, I like some films that he's in.
It's odd because Falling Down, he's pretty stacked in it as well, man.
He's not fucking.
Aye.
I want a
That's fucking
McMuffin.
just
I want a
dynamite.
McMuffin.
And he's like, what, Sue, Richard? I don't even know you. I'm calling you by your first name. I just want a fucking hamburger.
Oh, anyway, get it watched, man. Right, episode 114 in the bag. And I want to say one thing before we go.
Free Nelson Mandela.
Obviously. I mean, that goes without being said. But I want to do a plea to the hashtag heroes and to the council scumbags that are listening. If you've not yet joined the heroes and signed up to the Patreon, please do consider it. You can sign up for as little as $5. It's £4.50 a month, and you can access every single episode of the podcast, plus all the extra content. We would love you to join us and grow the hashtag army. But let me say one thing that everyone can do. I have been looking at I don't normally take this stuff serious at all, right? And I'm talking about the chart positions for podcasts in the UK, right? I never take it serious. And
all these emails we get and all that kind of stuff.
Aye, but you know what, mate? I've looked at it and it's actually true because when you send me the emails, I think this is bullshit, but it's actually real, which is mad. So I don't buy into all this stuff, but I'm trying to make a change. And I'm trying to say, do you know what? Maybe you need to play the game a wee bit if we're going to move up. So, according to Chartable, which is the podcast charts for the UK, and the Apple Podcasts in the stand-up category for Great Britain, the hashtag show is currently number 10, which is insane.
That's a fucking great achievement, isn't it?
Huge achievement. The Gargo number 1, Theo Vaughn, who's a huge American comic, is at number 2. Rice Tomito number 3, Reece James is at 4, blah 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 blah, and then the hashtag show at 10. Which, if you're not, I mean, you're a fan of the show if you're listening, but to give you a wee bit of insight, the very first one is one of the biggest podcasts in the world. The second one is one of the biggest American comics at this time, Theo Vaughn. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I know of them, and all of them have got huge market. And we've got nothing other than the love and support of you guys, who has got us into the top 10 of stand-up podcasts in the UK, which is amazing. So I ask you of this. Please share the podcast this week. Once you've listened to it, put it in your social media, ask people to listen, encourage people to listen, subscribe, give us a wee comment if you haven't already, and leave a review if you can. We want to try and move up that chart because if anything, it would be great to get top 5, but we also a good kick in the balls to the industry as well, because the podcast has come in there with nothing other than the support and love of you guys. And somehow we've made it in the top 10, which is amazing. So thank you to everybody who's got us there. But please, this week, if you can, make sure you share it and make sure you subscribe. And let's get us moving up that fucking chart, man.
There's a thing, even like just your wee comments on Podbean or iTunes, whatever you want to write. Great show, fucking Mal so handsome, whatever. Scott's just, I could look at him all day. Whatever you want to write. They all help, didn't you? Just like me reviews, comments.
It's odd because, again, everything's algorithms now, it's all the matrix, it's the algorithm. But it does seem to be that the number of downloads in the week, so obviously the charts are every week, so the number of downloads in that week and the number of reviews, new reviews that you get. So the reviews are quite low because we don't get many new reviews. So I suppose this week, please do share it on your social media pages, share the links, and if you haven't, jump on iTunes and leave us a wee 5-star review if you can.
Is this going out to the Hero Extras or is this going out to the council?
This is going out to everybody, this episode. This is going out to everybody.
But how long is it?
It's over an hour, but it'll go out to everyone.
How can we get that on Instagram video thing then?
Instagram, we can only ever put an hour on Instagram, but the full video will be on YouTube, and the full audio is going out to to everybody.
So we're not doing the 2 episodes then?
No, for this one, no, not for this one.
Because we forgot.
No, this is going out to everybody.
But I thought we'd done an hour for Council and then the bonus full episode for Hero.
But this one's just going out to everybody.
Right.
This week.
Because I was thinking, where are we in this episode? Is this
I know, we're way past it, but we're no editing this one out.
We never done a wee pre-production to sort that out at the start.
And we need council listeners to help us move up that damn chart. So get sharing, man. And listen, I know that, times are tough. Believe us, both of us know that. And if you cannot become a patron or you enjoy the council episode, that's fine. But all we'd ask generally, if everyone could share the show this week, try and encourage people to listen, it would certainly help us. We want to make sure we stay in that chart, moving on up there would be fantastic.
I mean, just to reiterate what Scott said, you've been fucking listening to the show for about 6 years. At least you can do is share it, leave a wee comment saying you enjoy the show. Don't just fucking switch off the minute we go into our fucking help us out rant at the end and go, I'll just listen in a couple of weeks' time. Fuck you. Give us something back. Help us out. Thank you for listening.
Help it.
It's a fucking matrix, man.
Right, that's it. Subscribe, share, listen, leave us a review, and we'll see where we stand in the charts next week. But until then, that's it. Share the show, listen to the podcast, listen to everyone else's podcast, listen to my podcast, listen to Mal's podcast.
I fucking lost about fucking 6 amazing episodes of my podcast in the hard drive crash with guests that I've fucking done interviews with. Gutted, man.
Just need to do them again, mate. Just need to do them again.
Yeah, you can never kindle that magic, Scott.
Maybe.
Not like we do every week,
I know. So, yes, that's it. Episode 114 in the bag. We will be back next week for a Hero episode. And, yes, share it, like, subscribe, leave a comment, become a Patreon, patreon.com/the hashtag show. Any questions, get in touch. That's it. All the best. See you later. That's it. Say bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Good night. Okay. Great. Good night.
The hashtagshow.co.uk